I think, okay, it's rolling. It's rolling. It's okay. It's not here in a second. Okay. All right. So, all right. Let me see if it's camera's right there. Let's see. Yep. Should be able to see. Yeah. All right. So let's get into this real quick. All praises, all honor, all glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and salutation to all the Akim doing it and pushing his word in sincerity and truth worldwide, and a sincere shalom to the elect. Now I want to get into this little lesson here, little camp lesson. You know, not a road of comfortability, okay? This walk that we're on, this is not a road of, you know, being comfortable. You're gonna lose things, lose people, you know what I mean? This is not a road of comfortability. Like these people in the world, they wake up and they live in, as we call, like, they live in La La Land, okay? Not a care in the world. But actually, their cares are of the world, right? Our cares are not of this world. Our care is to see that the kingdom is established, to see that righteousness is established, right? That's why we're, as the scriptures say, let me get the scripture real quick. Let me get this real quick. We don't want to stay in this fucking decrepitated place, man. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 8. Behold, Slakia, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they have profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. See, we're complaining continually about an unrighteous place that we're in, okay? And all the afflictions that we're suffering, right? This isn't a place for us Israelites, you know, this isn't, you know, the law, statutes, and commandments were given unto us. This place here is not abiding by those, okay? And then even so much, you got 2/3 of our people, you know, loving, you know, like a pig rolling in the dirt in the south, right? You got 2/3 of our people loving it, man. When really, righteousness was set up for us. And you should know that, you know, within a righteous society, you know, no ailments, no sicknesses, things are ran right, okay? Things are you know, proposed right. But in this society, as we can see, wickedness is what rules the world, man. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So obviously, you know, the wicked is in control. And let me get another scripture. This walk that we're in right now, this is not a easy walk. This is not a road of comfortability, okay? Because you have to put off your flesh. You have to put your flesh under subjection to the spirit. And you living in the flesh is so hard to do that, because you go to sleep like that, you wake up, you're in the flesh, you're eating, you're taking a shower, you know, you get a splinter, right? You're spiritual beings having a physical encounter, okay? Spiritual beings living in the material world. So it's hard for you to, you know, make that separation, right? But through the scriptures, through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, we have the understanding of that. That's why we know that, you know, you put your flesh under subjection to the spirit, it's going to be well with you, okay? It's not going to be going well with the ones who've been, going by the world, having no balance, having no integrity, doing all types of mess, not thinking or considering there's repercussions for the way, they're acting or carrying on, right? For example, the law, statutes, commandments are not enforced. You see people out there committing adultery, people sleeping with animals and all types of shit. Those type of things can fester diseases, okay? And these people, there is no real punishment for them. So what do? They come back out and they do the same thing. Scriptures also tell you in Sirach chapter 10, as the judge himself is, so are the people. So Job 9:24, you got a wicked ruler in place. So he's gonna encourage those type of behaviors, which are behaviors, that lead to very dangerous consequences. Okay, and you already know 2/3 of our people, they don't have the fear of the Lord upon them, so they continually fall into those traps. Okay. So Baruch chapter 4 and verse 31. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoiced at thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy Trojans served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. Okay, Babylon, man. This place, and the people of this place is miserable, man. Okay. So you see all these laws that they set up, these draconian laws that they set up. Everything's, as we say, upside down and backwards. Okay, everything is against Yahweh Shemel Shai's word. Okay, so you see this man, he sets up these, these laws or rules or regulations or whatnot, where people can commit, all types of wicked acts. Okay, and 2/3 of our people, because he doesn't enforce the law, statutes, and commandments, Esau, Edom, they walk right into that door, right into that trap. Okay, and the results, like I said, at the end of that is death, destruction. Okay, so these places that we're at, miserable is she that received thy sons, miserable is the cities. 2/3 Esau, Edom, by nature they're miserable people. Okay, they're always, as the scriptures say, he is never satisfied. Okay, they're miserable within their skin, man. Okay, within their flesh. That's why you see them, they're always hunting for something else, or they can't settle down like Jake. Jake could just go to the store, grab himself 2 beers, you know what I mean? Sit down, relax, eat a warm food, right? Because it's in the spirit of Jake to be like that, to be humble, right? But, the influences of this world and, Esau, Edom, these other nations, Jake is all bubbly, right? But it's in Jake's spirit to be like that, to, I'm cool with these couple beers here, whatnot, maybe a 6-pack, whatever it may be, and Jake will just sit down in his crib and chill. But Esau, Edom, not like that, okay? They're never satisfied. They're miserable in their own skin. They know something's wrong, okay? So let's get into this real quick. This road, not a road of being comfortable or comfortability, okay? We're going to have to go through things to receive that great reward which is promised to us by Yahweh Shemel Shai. So we have to take this road of, the unpopular road, as they say, okay? 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse, like I said, in this walk, you're going to lose things. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose family, right? The Lord will take away possessions of yours, okay? Because remember, the Lord required a person who's broken and contrite, okay? If you have a man out there that's, always been getting, always been winning, and he ain't feeling no chastenings, the Lord's not dealing with him, okay? But you feeling those chastenings from the Lord's dealing with you as a son, okay? And like I said, you're going to lose a lot of things out here. This is not a walk of being comfortable. For example, for the last at least 6 months, July, August, September, October, November. Yeah, for about the last 6 months, man. My car's been down. the whole underbottom, somehow, some way, the whole underbottom just raw out. Okay, and I knew I was supposed to replace something, you know, but that just hit me off, off guard, because it was just one side that just rotted out, right? So a lot of the work that I do, I have my own business, plus I work for another company doing deliveries and whatnot. So that really fucked me up bad for the last 6 months. What am I supposed to do? Go on a bus with all my tools and whatnot, or go on a bus and do deliveries on a bus? No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, so the things that we're going through, the chastenings that the Lord is sending us through by taking away certain things in our life, these are the testing, okay? The testing for you. If you're gonna break, flake, right? If you're gonna opt out, you're gonna say, to hell with this, I'm out here, this is too hard, man. This ain't coming fast enough, I'm losing, my car is down, no money's coming in, you know what I'm saying? For an individual to stay faithful onto his power through all that situation there, and plus more, that's yapa, okay? And that's exactly what I've been doing. I said, hey, look, this situation, what I'm going through, there's other people out there going through 10 times, 100 times, 3,000 times worse than what I'm going through. And I realize why I'm going through it, okay? It's to strengthen me. It's to build my integrity. It's to build my character, okay? And in the times that are coming, when Jacob's trouble here, civil war, all these things are breaking loose. You gotta be strong and sturdy up here. If you're not strong and sturdy up there with the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you're gonna break, okay? So this is why the Lord is sending us through these tests. I call them micro tests, right? Because in the time to the Lord, you already know, 1,000 years to man is as one day to the Lord. So these are micro tests that the Lord is sending us, making us go through these situations to build us up, to harden us up, okay? To build up our integrity, to build up our character, build up our endurance. So 2 Ezra chapter 7 and verse 1. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the nights afore. And he said unto me, Up, Ezra, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my power. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great, but put the case, the entrance, were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? Okay, so we're gonna have to go through these situations, and it's like, you have a big open, you could envision in your mind, you have a big open sea, and the narrow there is the entrance there is narrow like this, like a river, and you gotta go through a strait, okay? And this is what the Lord is putting us through straits, putting us through difficult positions, okay? Right now, testing out, exercising us, okay? So we may have experience after we go through these situations. Like I said, ain't nothing but a chicken wing to me. Yeah, it fucked me up, because that's where my money, you know what I mean? Deliveries, plus my own work, plus my own job or whatever, my own business, from up here to all of a sudden going to like zip to nil, Then when I get the money to fix my car, there's bills I gotta pay. So I had to take a chunk of money and fling it towards the bills. So therefore the car is still, floating on ice, as they say. So all these straits, all these positions of difficulty of what the Lord is sending us through, like I said, is building our integrity as a man onto Him. It's giving us much experience. It's putting us through. Those tasks, those situations. right? And at the end, you come through holding tight to faith and holding tight to this word. Hey man, you gonna shine ever more, man. Okay, you don't want that victory now. That's another one scratch on the barrel, as they say, right? Get prepared for the next one, because you see, the Lord will give us motions, give us the situation. Because look, all things are done in measurements, right? The Lord is not going to give you this situation and put you this situation and then this situation. He's going to put you through a situation where, he could, but he's going to put you through a situation for a duration of time. And afterwards, you come out. Did you fail? What did you learn? Did you get understanding for what you were going through? How can you prepare better for the future with the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Shai? Scriptures tell you that wisdom and money could get you almost everything, but wisdom could save your life. Wisdom is the only thing that can save your life. So when the Lord is sending us through these situations here, it's a test, a test. And there's beginning, there's end. So you got to endure through the whole thing. Now when that test is over, with that understanding that you have, you realize why you're going through that situation. Sometimes you might not even know. Sometimes the Lord might be saving you from going through another route that, could have been there for you. But all in all, that duration of time, when it's over, either you learn the lesson or you don't. Because the next situation that you're going through might just be the same, be like the damn same. Hey, Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and 9, it tells you history merely repeats itself. So the Lord has sent us, and from time has been sending us through these situations over and over and over and over. But the one who has understanding, the one who has wisdom, the one who has understanding, okay, and knowledge and wisdom to know, I remember reading about this in the scriptures. Let me handle this situation. Be following me right now. Let me handle this situation with wisdom, right? But the other individual now, he goes through the situation. He doesn't know why he went through it. He just knows, oh, I'm an Israelite, I'm going to catch hell. You got to be able to detect what's going on in your, within your walk, within your, because you have to learn from these things. If you go through and you don't learn from it, you're just going to repeat it. You're doomed to repeat it over and over and over. And Yahweh doesn't want us to keep running into a door. He wants us to be built up, okay? So we got to learn. We got to take heed. We got to scopeo, right? So going back into this, let me continue. Verse 6, 2 Ezra 7 and 6, there is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water, and only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If this city now be given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the dangers set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? And I said, It is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, Even so as is Israel's portion. Okay? So all of us got to go through this. If we want that inheritance at the end, right? With set up with good things, right? Going into the kingdom, okay? Going into the 144. We can't go into this. What's the scripture say? Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Philippians chapter 2 and 12. This is not no buddy thing where you join hands and you skipping together, in this truth. No, every man's got to work out his own salvation with fear and trembling, man. Just because you in it, right, and you're homeboy from high school, whatever. This is not no gang culture or fuck some job in the world or whatever. And you say, yeah, we can get a job, yo. Let's go over here. Yeah, they'll hire us both. You know. No, this ain't no camp buddy system. You're like, yeah, you're my buddy. You're my homeboy. Yeah. Nothing like that. This is all about saving your damn soul, man. We're all guilty. We all fall short of the glory, right? We Job 4:7. We're all guilty, man. Who's innocent? So the Lord returning these things onto us, giving us a fighting chance. Okay, what would you do? Would you be on the sideline talking shit, looking in? No, you'd be out there fighting, trying to obtain what you're reading about, right? If you're reading about the elect, you'd be an idiot to say, let me run this race so I can end up 50th place. Everybody here who's running in sincerity and truth wants that first place position. And what's that first place position? The ones who are going to be saved, the 144. Okay? So every man who's walking in this truth have to be concerned about himself, not just, his brother, right? Because obviously, you look out for your brother, whatnot, but you're not, I was about to say you're not an angel, but you are in physical bodies, but you know what I mean. You're not, as they would say, the fly on the wall in those four corners, okay? The angels know those deep, dark secrets, right? So you're not there when this man is, about to eat dinner or whatever the situation may be. He just came home from work, right? You got to look to your own well-being. Even though you're looking out for your brother and you want him to make it too as well, but as it says that what? And one only path between them both, talking about the fire and the deep water, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. So this is on you, okay? That's basically what it's breaking down. On you. You're not going through this holding your brethren's hand, and because he made it, I made it too. No, you gotta work on your own self. He's not here working on you. He doesn't know your thoughts. Yahweh knows your thoughts, and Yahweh knows his thoughts. Okay. So this walk that we're in here, every man's gonna be tried out. Okay, single-handedly, everybody. And everything that we're going through, like I said, is to build your character. It's to build you up, not to beat you down and toss you away and all that stuff. No, this is to build you up. Romans chapter 5 and verse 3. Not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. Okay, let me get that in the NLT. I like how it says in the NLT. Romans chapter 5, NLT, verse 3. We can rejoice too when we run into problems and trials. That's what I said. The duration of time, the Lord will put you through something. And, He might even put you, as soon as that one done, another one comes up. Okay? Because sometimes, brothers always say, man, they always say, hey, if everything's been going coastal, like clear, sunny day outside, no clouds, just bright sky, and then even the sun, the moonlight comes in, it's just a moon, and it's just a, clear moonlight lit sky or whatever. When you're when you're living like that for about, I'd say about a month, 2 months, you better be aware. You better be aware that something's coming. Okay, another trial and situation's coming, man. Because as long as I've been in this truth for the last, over 11 years or so, 12 years, 11 so years, trial after 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 trial. It'll make you want to gargle Drano, as they say in Bleach. Okay, trial after trial after trial after trial, man. Okay, situation after situation after situation, and Lord will do that just to work on you, man. You know, some more than others, but the Lord will do that. And hey, when you're being guided by the right men in this truth, I may say, as the apostle elders, you'll know that. You'll be able to stand on your own and know that, man. You'll be way off in Timbuktu, and you don't need a patch of people around you to, you know, pick you up or whatever. The word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, being locked in, okay, and knowing that these situations, like I said, builds you up, makes you stronger, okay, that you can stand on your own, all right? Romans chapter 5 and verse 3, we can rejoice too when we run into problems and trials, for we know that they help us develop endurance, okay? So when you run into those trials and those situations, you know, hey, man, ain't nothing but a chicken wing. This is beating out my flesh, but it's building up my spirit, okay? It's giving me the ability to know that, hey, the situation isn't all that bad, man. It may look bad, it may look terrible, but where's my faith at? Who's got my back? Okay, Yahweh Shem Yahushai has got my back. And he's sending me through these situations for a reason, to build me up. Something I may be weak on, and this situation right here is going to strengthen me. It's going to give me the ability to walk through this not comfortable road that I'm walking through, okay? Where the rest of the world would jump off a 50-story building, right? With the situations that we go through, okay? If I was sit here and even just to tell you about the last 6 months, you'd be like, holy shit, Ak, you know? Verse 4, and endure, let me start back again. We can rejoice too, verse 3, Romans 5 and 3. We can rejoice too when we run into Salakia, when we run into problems and trials, for we know that they help us develop endurance, and endurance develops strength of character, and endurance, to endure something, you know, develops strength of character. You ever see, I'm gonna use this as an example. You ever see on a baseball field, football field, soccer, any one of those sports, you know, your team's been fighting to get up there, and finally they get it up there, and at the last minute the other team just dunks a three or hits that goal, and you're like, fuck, man, we were just there, you know? And then everybody lines up, and you don't want to shake nobody's hand, you're just like spitting at everybody, and you know, you didn't learn nothing, okay? So going back to this scripture right here, an endurance develops strength of character, okay? So going through the loss, the process of losing, you won't be like one of these assholes in the world where they take it personal. Ain't nothing personal. The Lord is just putting this on you right now. Like I say, ain't nothing but a chicken wing. He's putting you through this situation to build up your integrity, to build up your character, okay, as a man. Because you're going to go through worse situations than this, right? So he's already downloading, or you're uploading, and he's downloading this information into you, into your spirit. Remember, it tells you knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of their times. So an individual that's been losing on the soccer field, whatever it is, and eventually, you know, you slap hands with the other team, you know, your attitude sucks, yo. You haven't learned nothing. You're just like when you first came to learn soccer or basketball, whatever. But the rest of your teammates, they're taking it with a cheer. They're saying, don't worry, we'll get it on the next time, man. All we gotta do is sit down and learn where we went off the last time. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get a win. But you don't want to go practice. You want to learn none of these things, and damn near it's because of you that your team keep fucking losing. Okay? And you don't even realize that. And the other teammates are merciful on you because they know he hasn't gone through nothing yet. He hasn't experienced nothing yet, man. He don't take accountability when we lose and when we go through these situations. He doesn't reflect. He doesn't consider these things. Okay? And this is what the Lord has driven us or raised us up. You know, because when we as niggas in the world, we didn't really consider shit. We considered our fucking belly, you know, getting some pussy, whatever it may be, our money, right? However we were living, we considered that, right? But now the Lord has, you know, renewed our mind, so now we can accept these things. Now we can actually grow into these things, right? We couldn't grow like that with the world on us. It's too much trash. Okay, that ground has got to be clean, like I always make mention. You got a box. Inside that box there's plastic, there's metal, rocks, stones, all types of shit. Clay, dog shits, all types of shit, okay? Human shit, all types of shit inside of there, okay? Cigarette butts, plastic, all types of fucking debris, you know? Car parts. So, what the Lord did basically with us is siphon all that shit out. You know, you got a big siphoner, and all the smaller debris will fall out, and all the heavier stuff will get trapped, right? Like you got this right here. This would be like the heaviest stuff. It gets trapped, and underneath coming out is all the smaller debris. So inside, the Lord is doing this with us, right? When we first came into the truth, so He can do this, take all this junk, the shit that was in the world, out of us, so we got a nice, clean, and fertile ground to start with. And then what He do? He started, as they would say, assimilating it, right? You start putting nutrients into it, so whatever you plant in there will be robust. It will be flourishing. Okay. So this is what the Lord did to us. He took all that junk, right? Took the old character, the old man out of us, and now He's starting us to go through all these experiences. This is building us up, and we're flourishing. We're becoming a bigger and bigger tree, right? Growing proper, growing right. Our roots are right beside the riverbank, constantly being fed. Okay? That's why it says, blessed is the man that trusteth in Yahweh. But cursed is the man that, trusted in man. He's going to have all this shit in his mind. Okay? Metaphorically, that fertile ground, his ground ain't fertile. His ground is filled up with shit like this, and like I said, cigarette butts, pop cans, fucking big boulder stones and shit, sticks, bags of dog shit, heavy metals, plastic, all types of shit. But the Lord did what? Like I said, He took that and He did this, all the dirt that fell out, He took it, He amended it, adding those nutrients, He amended it, and planted those seeds, this word, okay? And now it's starting to flourish, right? But anyways, so going back to this, Romans 5 and verse 3, we can rejoice too when we run into problems and trials, for we know that they help us develop endurance, and endurance develops strength of character, and character strengthens our confident hope of salvation, building on our faith, man. It's even pushing us more and more and more to that, we're just like, yo, fuck it, whatever comes our way, man. Because we're built up in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And His promises triumph everything out here. He is not a man that He should lie. Has He not said, and shall He not do? So that's the level that we're on. We're on the level like, as Revelation tells you, that they're not afraid to die. Okay? That's the Lord. He's pushing us up to that level, where when they threaten us with death, we're like, oh well, we're going to meet our Lord. And when we return, your ass is grass. F you here, for us to be standing in the face of our oppressors and saying that boldly in that day, that's going to be something, man. And this is why we're going through these trials, these situations, is to build us up. So when those times come, you best believe all your mind is fixated on Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and the kingdom. It's almost damn near like you can taste it and see it. And the enemies before you are just looking at you compelled, like, what's up with this nigga? I got the guillotine right here, I got a firing squad right there. I just shot and killed people in front of me, and he didn't even blink, he didn't even whack an eye, he yawned. What's up with these guys? So, like I said, in this walk, it's not going to be an easy walk, man. We're going to go through these trials, these situations, but it's all to our benefit, okay? Fuck the world, fuck what they got to talk about, fuck what they're saying. Who cares about them? These situations where you're going through right now today, okay, this road, like I said, the road of uncomfortability, you're not set up on your leads, you're kicking back, eating Jet Mac, okay? You actually striving. You trying to achieve this goal here. Okay. James chapter 1 and 1. James, a servant of Yahweh and of Yahweh, of the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. My brethren, count it all, my brethren, not the heathens, my brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. Okay? So, knowing this, that the trying of your faith, when you fall into these situations, you want to take, like they say, you want to take a chunk out of that motherfucker's head, right? Knowing that's a trying of your, as it says right here, Slakia, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, right? So when you go through this, they're testing you. As they say, like those girls, man, what they say, rage baiting. Okay, they're trying to rage bait you. They're trying to pull you out of who you are. I don't want to use the word character, but they're trying to pull you out of your character and try to pull you back into the world and make you a carnally ass, niggly ass nigga. So you could do that. So you could get carnal with them and hit them with something, and then they turn around and they point and they say, you see, right? Don't worry about that. Because all that, when you go through those situations like that, Yahweh Shem Yahshai, is hard, right? Because you're in the situation, they on you like this, yeah, right? You just want to rail off on them. But remember what you have. What you have is way more precious than what they have. Something you have gives you the ability or leads you on to salvation. Okay? What they have is just leading on to death. Okay? That's it. So don't let duppies, don't let the duppy them bother you. Alright? They're just trying to try you. Try your faith, man. Okay? They poking at you. Alright? But knowing that when we go through these tribulations, these situations, ain't nothing but chicken wing. It's just another one on the iron, man. Or this is the 50th, this is the 500th, this is the 1000th, you know what I'm saying? Peradventure, whatever. So, my brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, right? And they rage baiting you when they doing a lot of that shit that they be doing. Okay, so don't fall into that, trap. Because you have what? Knowledge and wisdom shall be what? The stability of thy times. They're not going to be stable. They're going to be running around like, like a chicken with his head cut off. Romans chapter 12 and 11. Not slothfully in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. And that's another thing too. Prayer is a necessity, okay? We constantly got to pray unto Yahweh Shem Shai. Constantly got to pray unto Yahweh Shem Shai to give us the strength to go through these situations. And within the word comfort, because when you go to 1 Thessalonians 4 and 18, when you go into that word comfort there, it goes into consult, to strengthen, to call aside, to, build up, right? And this is what the Lord will do to us through his word. We pray for to be strengthened. So we find the examples, this is like to eat, right? And as we ingest these situations that our forefathers went through, we read about the results of what the evil gets and what the good gets, right? What a man where his faith was being tested, what he gets for holding on, and what a man gets for falling out, basically just giving up, right? So within this, prayer is a necessity. So we got to pray for the strength, okay? The strength to endure these things, all right? And when we pray for that, these situations that we go through, ain't nothing but a chicken wing. And yes, patient in tribulation. Don't jump the gun, man. Okay? Because remember, that's a part of your chastening that the Lord is sending you through. Okay? You may have two people in a room, those who are walking towards Yahweh Shimei Shai in sincerity and truth, and then a 2/3, and you send them both through the situation, obviously the 2/3, they don't realize what they're going through. But us having the spirit of Yahweh Shimei Shai, we're expected to act in a better attitude, a better way, because we've been equipped with the information on how to deal with this situation that you're going through. Okay? The 2/3, they don't have that. That's why they resort back to what? Being carnal, being crazy, going for a gun, a knife, I gotta get the last laugh, that type of way. They can't leave it up onto Yahweh Shimei Shai to handle a situation. Okay? Like in school. Oh, you gonna let him say that? That guy punked you, bro. That guy punked you. You're weak, right? It's the same thing when it comes to us. People insulting us and whatnot on the streets. People really think that, we're supposed to go out there and handle them, close the camera and beat them up on shit like that. That's not what the scriptures, that's not how Yahweh Shai would want his ambassadors to come in, okay? We got something way more powerful than the carnal. We got something of the spiritual, of Yahweh Shimei Shai, okay? And like I said, with my situation, what I'm going through, the Lord could just alleviate that yesterday, okay? Today, whatever it may be, okay? But the important thing is, with the situations that I've been going through, or you, Akim, out there, is that we don't let go, okay? We hold on tight. Doesn't matter. It's like holding on to a whale's tail. And, it's going through caverns. You've seen these on movies before, cartoons, movies, whatever. An individual, Aquaman or something, grabs on a big fish or shark or something, and it's bucking. It's going all over the place, right? We in for the long haul. We in for the ride, man. Wherever it takes us, it takes us. Okay, that's our spirit. Okay, we ain't gonna let go. And that's what Yahweh Shimei Shai send us through, roller coaster of situations, man. But all those situations that we're going through, accounted for, we can, Slakia, all those situations that we're going through, we can account them for lesson learnings, things to build us. The Lord didn't just send you through that because he was having a bad day. He sent you through that to learn, to build you up. Okay? And let me start off with this, because like I said, we understand the chastenings. Okay? You see, these 2/3, they live peachy. They go out there, they rob people, you know what I'm saying? They go buy diamond, this, that, blah, blah, blah. But cut off the ability to be carnal, and we'll see what happens to those individuals. They'll snap. They'll jump off. I don't want to live no more, right? So when we had to cut off being carnal, like say, you're jobless, you're homeless, the average man would say, let me go do something illegal. But with us, we're not thinking like that. We're thinking with Yahweh Shimei Shai. What would Yahweh Shimei Shai do in this situation? Scriptures tell us that we have the mind of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. So we remain faithful, we remain spiritual, okay? In a situation like that, we would use knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We would pray, which some people count as weakness. But it's not weakness, because you're praying on to your spiritual father. And like I said, which is more stronger? The bow, the axe, the gun, or the spiritual? The unseen. Now I'm rolling with the spiritual, okay? So let's go back into something real quick. Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. Okay? For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth. So don't forget, you're going through these situations, harsh situations where you might be even say to yourself, oh man, I'm not a man of the Lord. The Lord would never send a man of the Lord through these situations. Oh yeah? Go talk to the apostle elders, man. I remember, man, as long as, like I said, over the last 12, 11 years, whatever, I've been hearing situations and see, like, those men have much understanding. I think in the scriptures it tells you when you find a man of much understanding, you know, like fetters beyond his. I can't remember. I don't want to put two scriptures together. Salakia. Let's just knock this over. Yeah, when you find a man of understanding, okay, get close to him. Okay, the elders, you know, those men of understanding who know things, draw nigh unto them, draw close to them, because there will be found dark sentences, parables, and whatnot, right? So, men of understanding, they got much experience. Okay, the apostle elders have been in this truth for over 40 years, right? 35, 36 to 40 years, right? So, who am I gonna listen to? A man that Lord has been refining, right? With his word, guiding him in the right way, or some fucking 2/3 bug out nigga that done had 5 marriages. His kids are here, there, they come live with him sometimes, this and that. You know, he eating pork and lobster and all types of madness. You know, smoking cigarettes, doing the most. Am I gonna, you know, within your right thought, who do you think in that situation is exactly the apostle elders? Okay, so we're not gonna, you know, we're not people of the world, man. People of the world would be like, well, don't have 5 wives, you know. These guys been sheltered away, you know. Nah, you know, Unc fucked up, okay? Unc don't know his left foot from his right foot, okay? And wait till when he drinks, it's even worse. But I'll go to the one that's been chastened and has the information on why he's been chastened, okay? It has the information on Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and 13. Let's hear the conclusion of the whole matter, okay? That would be the man that I would be looking towards to follow after, or, you know, as they said, get closer onto, right? I want to be trying to get closer onto Uncle over here that's had 5 marriages, failed marriages, you know, kids are all over the place, right? One's this, one's that, you know. No, man. So the man who the Lord loveth, right? He's putting him through situations and whatnot, chastening. The apostle elder's been chastened for over 40 years, man. Okay? Not just living in the world like Unc, right? Unc, yeah, he got, you know, he's been through hell and up. 5 wives? Fuck. Anyways, yeah, you know, he's been hell and back, but he don't know or realize why he's suffering. He don't even know who the hell he is. You know, Black America. Me a Jamaica, me a Bayesian, you know, me a Trini, me a Vinci. No, I'm Ghanaian, you know. He's lost. But these men know who they are. These men know why they're going through the situation. These men have been tried and tested out. Their integrities, or their character, their integrity has been built up. Okay? Honest men, men of good report. Okay? Meanwhile, Unc still owes somebody $5 down the street, $1 down the street, the bar over here. You're going in, they ask you, hey man, you see your uncle? That guy got $50 for me, man. You got $60 there? This shit only costs 50. Can I get that 10 for your uncle? You know? Fuck that. You know? And that's how these people are in the world, man. A man of integrity will cover his debts. So, I owe you this, Salaki, here you go. And here's 50 cents extra for the weight. You know? A man in the world? Shit, yo, go in the store and go buy this for me. I owe that nigga some change. The water Yahweh Shemi Oshai for pulling us away from that type of character, or that type of being, you know? If we were that in the world. You know what I'm saying? Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If he endure chastening, God dealeth with you as sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if he be without chastisement, wherefore all are partakers then are ye bastards and not sons. Furthermore, we have had fathers. Or Salakia, let me stop there for a second. So, for whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and if he endure the chastenings, God dealeth with you as sons. Okay? A lot of guys been chastened, they jump out the frying pan. Okay? You see that example where father and son in the household, son reaches a certain age, he thinks he's a man. Two kids can't live in the same throne, man. Comes home, the dad puts him on the rule. It's part of his chastening. And then the son says, fuck you, dad, I'm out of here. Okay? That's not gonna, yo, get out of my house. Get the fuck out. Okay? But if he endured chastening, God dealeth with you as sons. For what son is he whom the father chasteneth not? So right, the Lord is looking down from heaven and saying, you know, these are like unto me my sons, man. I got to give them correction, you know. The 2/3, to hell with them. Evil's is set up for them. I don't care about them, man. They're not in my household. Like out here today, is my mind thinking about 4 doors down, the neighbor's kids, right? No, that's their business, okay? They done made that mess, all right? The Lord is looking at us, Lord will that we be of that elect, and say, no, these ones that are chastening, they're holding faithful, they're not jumping out the frying pan, you know, they're not cursing me off, they're not seeking for another God. Yeah, these are my sons right here. But y'all, I can't even look upon y'all yet. You gotta come back through the kingdom, okay? And like a father who don't chasten his son is like a bastard. It's like he don't care about him, okay? Think about that for a second. You got a father in the household, kids going into jail, out, this, that, got a key to the house, in and out when he pleases, this, that. That father don't care about that son, okay? The father probably don't even care about himself. But more than likely, he don't care about his son. He don't love his son. Because any father that loves their son, they're going to give them what is due. They're going to say, hey, man, I don't want to see you going off. I don't want to see you in jail. I don't want to see you dead. I don't want so on and so forth. So you're going to give them laws, statutes, commandments to abide by that guides them in their life, okay? So they don't end up in a pit, right? With an OPP officer looking over them, up, this nigga dead, right? You know, hey, when you love your son or your daughters, you're going to be, you know, giving them correction. You're going to be giving them warnings. You're going to be, not threatenings, but you know what I'm saying. Hey, don't cross that red line. Or that's ass whoopee time. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the Lord does with us, right? Don't cross that line. Cross that fucking red line. There's a line drawn in the sand. Cross that line. Cross that line and see what happens, okay? So continuing. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Right, like your father in the household, which I'm speaking. My kids, I gotta, hey, time for discipline is discipline, right? And my father, he gave me, you know, and so on and so forth. So I gave him reverence as, hey, that's my dad. You know, this guy, you know, I'd be going off all the time. But guess what? He always put me into a line. He always showed me discipline. That shows that that father actually loved that son, right? Which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. We shall not much rather be in subjection unto the Spirit, the Father of spirits, and live. For they, verily, for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous, right? What we're going through right now at this present time, like what I'm going through right now, my car being down, shit being just derailed, okay, for the last 6 months, all right? It's like, you know, that's not joyous, man. Hip, hip, hooray, okay? But the scriptures tell you, you know, you gotta love to mourn. You gotta love to, it's better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. A person that goes to the house of feasting, they're always in that, you know, they haven't gone through shit. So their character is gonna be, you know, like I said, the kid on the football field is like, don't shake my hand, get the fuck away from me, you know. But you're gonna, that ain't nothing but a chicken wing, ain't affecting me, you know. Oh yo, you lost your house, you lost all your possessions. That ain't nothing. I'll get, you know, if it be, I'll get them back, I'll get back a house, whatever it may be, okay. So continue. No chastening for the present seems to be joyous, right? When you're going through a stinging situation, right? That don't feel too good, right? But grievous, nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Exercised thereby. So we are exercised by the chastenings in these situations that the Lord put us through to gain this experience, okay? Because we come out of those situations with experience, okay? The things we have gained, detecting when we're going through it, we're like, I see what's going on here. Yo, that tells you about that in Romans, da-da-da-da. It tells you about it in da-da-da-da. Oh, our forefathers went through, let me get that scripture right here. Our forefathers went through that situation, right? It'll be nothing to you, right? You're gonna, after your exercise thereby, let me show you an example. You got a 50-pound weight, right? And two individuals. One's been in the gym for 5 years. So that 50-pound weight to him is nothing. He's always, you know, every day. Then this guy, Joe Camel, Smoker Joe over here, Joe Camel, right? 6-pack, who knows, whatever. Haven't been in the gym a day in his life, not even in high school. Goes to attempt to lift up that weight, and they do a set. He's gonna be sore. Okay, the one that Smoking Joe Camel, he's gonna be sore. But the one who's consistently been exercising and doing what he's doing, that's nothing. That's just a stretch for him. Okay? But that guy, he's gonna be, I think I pulled a muscle. He's gonna have to go rest for a couple of days and then get back in the gym and tear some more and then rest, eat proper, and then, you know, he's gonna have to get conditioned to go through that. Okay? So, us, you know, it profits us when we're going through all these unjoyous situations, these grievous situations, because at the end of that, there's a profit for us, okay? Because we were exercised by those things, those situations, what the Lord's put us through. So let's jump back into something real quick here. This is why I said that you must love the sufferings, okay? What the Lord puts you through. You may seem crazy, you may seem nuts. It may seem crazy or nuts to say that, but that's what it is, man. James chapter 4, verse 9. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. You see that? Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. Why? Because you see all those distractions of the world. Everybody wants fun. Everybody wants to reach out and express the carnality, their carnalism, okay? But it's so hard to put off the flesh, something that you wake up in, you brush your teeth, you eat, you gotta take care of it, right? It's so hard to put that off for something that you can't see, okay? There's no closet door that you go to and you go, oh, there's my spirit. From the time I was born, you know, no, you don't see the spirit. You don't see, you know, none of those things, right? So it's hard for an individual out there, the average individual, to say, you know what, I'm not going to eat no salt today. You know what, I'm not going to have no sex. You know what, I'm not going to go to that party, right? Because all they've been doing their whole life is adhering to their flesh. What their flesh wants, they please it, okay? So they're not adhering to Yahweh Shem Shai. So us, the Lord is telling us, be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning. All these things, what you're doing right there, is setting yourself up for that uncomfortable road. You're going to feel the bumps, the hits, boom, bam. It's building you up, it's conditioning you, okay? Like a boxer in a boxing ring. They got these, they use the gloves, they got these, it's like it's like this, it's shaped kind of like this, but round, okay? Padding, You know, boom, boom, boom. Hit you all up in your gut right here. Boom. Poke the front of it. Boom. Right in here, your suplex, so you, you know, get you accustomed to blows and hits, right? So it's a conditioning. So this is why the Lord is telling us, be afflicted, mourn, weep. Let your joy be turned to heaviness. Get accustomed to these things now, okay? Because in the days when truly it's a blanketed cloud of that darkness and heaviness upon this earth, you're going to be, singing for joy. You're going to be laughing. And other people are going to be looking at you like, this nigga is crazy, because they've always adhered to their flesh, right? Verse 10, humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. And this is exactly why we're being afflicted and mourn and weeping, and let your laughter and return to mourning and your joy to heaviness, man. Humble yourselves. Be in that low, contrite spirit, broken, contrite spirit, man. Okay? Because what's the opposite of afflicted? To be joyful or have your way, okay? From mourning, right? What's the opposite of mourning? Being happy, right? Weeping, you're laughing, right? Your laughter turn to mourning, right? And your joy to heaviness. But those three things right there, affliction, mourn, and weeping, right? What's the opposite of those things? Those things are the joyous occasions in the world, where you're all happy, you're not being afflicted, you're not mourning, you're not weeping. You're on cloud 9, as they say, right? Well, the Lord is saying, let me take that cloud away from your ass, nigga. Boom! I want you down to the little, I'm breaking you down to the last molecule, to the last atom, okay? No pun intended. But yeah, that's what the Lord is doing. So, in that day, when the whole world is at that down to zero, you're going to be up there. Because you've been walking your whole life, been exercised, tried, right? Going through these situations in that road of uncomfortability, right? That in those days ain't gonna, to you it's gonna be a breeze. Sit back, put your feet up, and close your eyes when all calamities happen, and just yawn and people gonna be looking like, this nigga is crazy. Okay, that's all they can say to themselves. This guy's fucking crazy. Doesn't he see what's happening out here? He's talking about a God's gonna say. That's why people think we're nuts now. It's alright. Sirach chapter 2 and Sirach chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Okay? Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at the last end. Cleave unto him. Okay? Let me go back again. Set thy heart aright. Constantly endure. Okay? Constantly endure. You gotta constantly endure these mournings, these sufferings, these situations that you're going through. That uncomfortable walk that you're walking in. Okay? You gotta constantly endure these things. If you give up, that's your ass. Okay? And make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at that last end. Cleave unto him and depart not away. So when you're going in through those times of troubles, those situations, like right now what I'm going through, at my lowest, right? Or whatever, at your lowest, right? I'm not saying to myself, you know what, fuck this. I'm out of here, I'm not going to do this no more. I'm going to go find me a job in the world. I'm going to be this of the world so I don't go through these situations again. No, I'm sticking through it. I'm enduring, okay? Because I know at the last end, the Lord is going to pull me out where he needs to pull me out. And I'll know from my, what I've been through, my lesson has been learned, okay? Whatsoever is brought upon thee, see, take cheerfully whatever is brought upon you. So this situation come upon me, it's grievous, not joyous. At first I'm like, clenching teeth. And then I start to laugh. Like a month later, I'm like, you never could pull one over on the Most High, because right before this happened, I started stacking like a lot of silver, man. If I had that silver from June to now, because I started majorly collecting it within the last year or so. But I've always been collecting silver over time. But I had an opportunity. That opportunity was like, wow. That opportunity was like, wow, this is. But I knew something was up. I said to myself, nothing don't come that easy, boy. No, you're gonna be within the next 2 months. Boom, car knocked down. I got all this silver that I was planning to stack away and just. I knew it was gonna reach over 100, but my situation, I say, I got cash this now, because I got kids to feed, bills to pay, certain things to do. I can't sit back and I ain't gonna do nothing. Just wait till it gets 100. It just reached 100 like a month ago. Okay, so with the amount of silver that I had, man, because I sold it around $50 or so. But with the amount that I had, because I had to go buy car parts, I had to go buy a whole new front end of car parts, the control arm, thyroid arms, all types of shit like that. And afterwards, and I noticed too, when this brother in New York, every time he has car problems, I ain't gonna say his name, every time he has car problems, this brother over in New York, well beloved brother, man, every time he has car problems, I can guarantee like 2 weeks later, a week later, I'm getting car problems. And I'm just like, God damn, man. God damn. But hey, take it cheerfully, laugh, laugh it off. Because when I said to myself, I said, it's funny how I'm getting this like that, something's very up to. And boom, car problem happened. And I said, fuck, man. I was banking to save this shit. I even told my home, I said, you see this? I told you. I knew it was too sweet. And then afterwards, I had to get rid of silver. Grocery need to be bought. Bills need to be paid. Shit need to be done. So, man. But anyways, hey, man. Take cheerfully whatever is brought upon thee. Okay? Whatever is brought upon thee, verse 4, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. And that's what, I had to do. Up to now. Still up to now. I'm not fussing, fighting, and jumping up. There's other people that are arguing more about money than me. Okay? And they actually, have money. Let's say it like that. They actually have money and they're arguing about money. And they're worrying about money. Right? And you actually have money. That shows that person's mentality. As they would say, they're not a people person. They don't care about Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All they care about is money. Money, 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 money. Okay? The bag, the bag, the bag. And, hey, the Lord said that, a friend will be known through adversity. So you get to know people through these situations. Who's really there for you and who ain't there for you. Anyways, continuing. For gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Okay? Believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. Yeah, that's it, man. Okay? And that's all I've been doing. Going through this situation, this hellish situation. Hey, the scriptures tell you. Because we're dependent on Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? Yahweh Shem Yahushai is always there for us. But here it is, you go through a situation and you're going to disappear. Because that situation is not working out to the way you like it. No, you're like a damn traitor. Okay? Baruch chapter 4 and 28. As it was your mind to go astray from Yahweh, so be in return, seek him 10 times more. Okay? So, as it was your mind to go astray from Yahweh, being in that Gentile state of mind and whatnot, being returned unto him, seeking 10 times more. Doesn't matter these situations where you're going through. Okay? You're gonna go through a lot. You're supposed to go through situations. But a man of integrity is not gonna jump out the hot water and say, you know what, F you, I'm out of here. To hell with it. Look what you did to me. No, the very same man that put you through that situation is the very same man who's gonna pull you out. Okay? that's where it comes down to, where's your faith at? A lot of these guys, they end up in situations and they're not Hebrew Israelite no more. They're cursing. They're, oh, you know, oh, you see, that's what you get for fucking around with them. You know, as bad as voodoo is, you know, their mind starts to, you know, get calcified. Let me say it like that, because they start thinking suspicious thoughts, man. What if vocab was right, yo? Look how much shit I'm. Yo, why am I getting so? Yeah. If God did love me, why we? No, that don't make no sense. You give me everything here on earth. You know, that's how they, you know, you start falling away. You start falling down that snowball, and it's small at first, and it starts building. We've seen Genesis. We've seen many others fall down the hill, man, and the end of that, man, is worse than the beginning. Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 6. Seek ye Yahweh while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. Yeah, don't call upon him when hell and destruction is breaking loose. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and 1 tells you, you know, get to your Creator now. Do it now. Seek the Lord betimes. Okay? Now. Before those evil days draw nigh. Get to him now. Okay? You see the prophets. You see us brothers out there on the streets preaching. Right? Doing sit-downs and lessons like this. Get to them. Get how does it say? Interactive. Right? Get active, actually, Slakia. Okay? Ask a question. Okay? Job chapter 4, 40 and 7. Be a man. Okay? Gird up thy loins like a man. Ask a question. All you're going to get is yea and nay. Okay? You're so tough in the world and so rambunctious and so bold to do the things that you're doing in the world, but when it comes to this, all of a sudden you're a mouse. You know? You know? So, you know, we got to continually seek Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, because that's our power. That's the only one that's going to draw us out of this situation. Okay? Let me see something right here real quick here. Yup. So, okay, all the individuals out there that are not giving warning to their congregation about these type of things, you know, are telling them about this is the situations you're going to go through as a young man. Slakia, oh shit. It's still on? Should be still, yeah. Should be still on, yeah. Phew. I gotta buy a new phone, man. I gotta buy a new phone here within the new year, man. I gotta start getting some new camp equipment. You know, gotta reinvest in probably a new sign, like a new the chart, the 12 stripe chart. There's some things I gotta do, you know, to continue to keep pushing the word, man. Because that's where our mind is focused. Hey, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua gave us this for a reason. He gave us a fighting chance for a reason. And hey, as this scripture say, all you other camp leaders out there that are, you know, fucking around playing games, the Lord's gonna get you. Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 12. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles, and will punish the men that are set on their lees, that say in their heart, Yahweh will not do good, neither will he do evil. Leave your men idle, men. Okay? And you know why they you know, they're sitting on their lees? Because they fat. They got everything they want. They're comfortable. Okay? Let me see something real quick here. Yeah, they're comfortable. They sit back, chilling, as they say. Right? And meanwhile, the congregation run around out there like this, trying to please the guy sitting in his podium, right? His high chair, wearing raw purple colors and whatnot. Yeah, you're supposed to be watching. You're supposed to be constantly watching. But what are you doing? You're just chilling, sitting back. You're in a settled position. You're in a comfortable position, okay? Yes, we settled. Let me see something thick, shrink, clouded, frozen, and gelled. Yeah. But anyways, God's saying here, man, the Lord sends us through these situations, this road of, not being comfortable, okay? The Lord sends us through these situations to build us up, okay? So in that day, when all the roughness, calamity, all the destruction cometh down, that will be good, man. We'll be sound in mind, okay? The rest of these individuals are not going to be sound in mind. They're going to be running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Because, like I said, their camp leaders have not, built that hedge. They haven't gone out to the highways and hedges, right? Right now, I'm suffering with infirmities. Since, I think, December there, I had some kind of cold. And it could have been that super virus or whatnot. But this, man, I don't even wish this on my worst enemy. Okay? But what happened was a complication with breathing, memory loss, like mind fogginess, tiredness straight to the bones. Like, I already have infirmities, but whatever sickness or cold that was, man, that hit me over, it was like, I would say, same thing with the C to the V to the O. December 19th. No, actually, to the C to the O, that happened in October 19th, even before it was popular up here. But this season here, I got hit with whatever the fuck it was, or 18th, 19th. And around that time, I was going on the bus heavily, downtown, boom, boom, moving around, just trying to, sell some of that silver and shit to pay off my bills and whatnot. Because I couldn't move around, like I said, with my job. Mainly, I got to be on the road. Delivery, and also, I have my own business, right? And to carry my tools, and as you see, painter's tools, all types of stuff I can pull up here, man. A lot of my tools are here right now, right? Because I usually keep my tools here anyways. But, yeah, I couldn't go on a bus with a whole bunch of stuff like that. And, you got to work on a basement or something like that. You guys, heavy equipment, you can't go on a fucking bus with that, okay? So, I have a feeling I got sick around like the 18th, maybe even 17th. And that, I'm telling you, Akim, now I'm kind of coming out of it, like, but, whatever it was, man, it hit straight to the bones, man. And it gave you a fatigue type feeling. And also feeling like I don't want to eat, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to eat, And I know it wasn't from, the situation that I'm going through or whatnot, with my car and no work and stuff like that. It wasn't these situations where I'm going through. And it wasn't my infirmities. My infirmities may flare up for like half a month or so, and I know how it acts in the wintertime. But this was something different. This is some new shit that's going on. Like, it will knock you down like a horse. Like, as they say, they give the horse the fucking thing, and it will knock you down like a horse, man. You ain't getting up, okay? And it wasn't too much of a sweats, fever. If anything, that was at night, right? But it wasn't much of that. It was more so body aches, and you can't, you feel restraint, man, okay? And with already the infirmities that I do have, that just added on to it. But hey, I prayed on to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai that, give me strength to go through these situations. And like I said, I'm seeing a little alleviation since like yesterday or day before that, but I'm still feeling a little fucked up, as they say, But anyways, Akim, hey, as the scriptures tell you in Matthew, I'm going to end off with that. We got to endure these things on to the end. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved, man. Okay? Let me get another one here real quick. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah. He that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved, man. James chapter 5 and 11. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. Okay? Yeah, you seen what happened, you know. Oh, is any among you afflicted? Let him pray. And any married, let him sing psalms. Any among you afflicted? Yeah, I'm afflicted by these situations that I'm going through, and actually physical my body. Okay, because I have infirmities. I had infirmities for the last 15, 16 years or so, and it all came from. You see, Esau Edom's a fucking asshole. It all came from my work environment, man. I was in a coal room because I was a butcher, right? And inside there, you're supposed to be wearing certain clothing. Now, Esau, he didn't give a fuck. He just let anybody in, make you work overtime, all that type of shit, and turn his head like that. And knowing, too, that he's supposed to send us to the doctor every year for our lungs to get checked for the fucking Freon that we're... That's why sometimes people, they might cough and you can hear it in them. And I asked them, I said, you worked as a butcher, right? Because there's a certain fucking cough you can hear that a butcher has, man. It's from that fucking Freon. And that shit will fuck your body up. So, from that, I got sick and kind of got fucked up. Plus, I got an injury being on work, right? From that establishment there. And it's still been with me, right? But, you know, I should have sued those fuckers, man. Yeah, oh yeah, let me go back to this. James chapter 5 and verse 10. Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Behold, we count them happy, which endured. We have heard of the patience of Job. You saw what Job went through. Job went through fucking hell, man. And we as Israel is a representation of that too as well. Okay? But Job went through fucking hell, yo. And look what the Lord did at the end, 100-fold. Just like Yahushua promised Peter. Peter said, Lord, we did all this, man. We put away a house, this, that, blah, blah. Lord said 100-fold. Don't worry about that. Got you. Okay? And the Lord is not a man that he should lie. And fuck all these things here anyways. Everything's decrepit. You can't have joy in your wife. You can't have joy in your kids. You can't have joy in your own fucking household. Okay? Us Israelites can't have joy here, man. This is not a place for us to be, yay, woo. No. This is a grimy, dystopic place, man. This is not our kingdom. Okay? This is not the place that you want to be, you know. Yeah, let's fucking, you know, Psalms 49:11. I love this place. Yeah, no, man. So, you have heard, you have seen the end of the Lord. The Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy, man. And hey, like I said, you know, pray on the Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know what I mean? That He gives you strength to endure these things. Okay. Woe unto you that ran out of your patience, man. Woe unto all those individuals that left this truth because of these, you know, situations. These situations that you were going through are to build you up, man. Not for you to leave, you know. Jeez. But anyways, Akim, this is not a comfortable walk, man. All you younger brothers who are coming into this truth, hey, I'm still young. I don't care 11, 12 years in this truth. Still a baby. You know, ask the apostle, of them, or the brothers who are 25 years into the truth, or 15, 17 years into the truth, man. You know, but hey, you know, for you younger brothers that are coming into this truth, it's not gonna be an easy walk, man. You know, I don't say that to deter you. I say that to give you the warning, because the brothers always ask, do you know what you're involved in? Okay, it's the first warning right there. You know, do you understand what you're involved in? You're gonna go through some shit, some heavy shit, some shit where you just feel like popping your, pulling your hair out. Yo, where that Drano at? Take the Drano, put some alcohol, red Effie up in there, give you some bleach. Just, you know, the shit that we go through, the average man cannot handle, Akim. So, hey, the Wadi Yahweh Shem Yahushai for giving us the spirit and strength to go through these situations, man, not be pulling our hair, jumping off of bridges and shit, you know, taking the gun to the head and boom, You know? Hey, the water Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. And there's still more to come. Because, you know, I look around, I don't see Yahushai's kingdom, right? So there's still more shit to come. Alright? And the MOTB is not, you know, as in Revelation, that hour of temptation. So there's still more to come, man. There's still more to go. Okay, we gotta go through a lot. Okay? So, hey, with that, Akim, all praises, all honor, all glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone that rule well and who are worthy of their double honors. And Shalom to Allah Akim, doing and push this word in sincerity and truth and honesty through all the four corners of the world. And Shalom to the elect. I hope you're edified. Lord willing, to the next time. Shalom, 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 Akim. And Abad Babal. Shalom. Lord willing, to next week.